combination of ideas that are being run through in this patch, and continuing on the theme of Ableton by numbers, I'm using the pitch plugin to change the note that is being played within the clip there. So rather than playing it with a Midi keyboard or doing any editing inside the clip window, we're kind of exploring how we might use the pitch plugin to achieve this. Now, added to this, we have the Chord plugin, which is the source of the chords that we are listening to. And these chords are then triggered by the arpeggiator. So removing any one element with a pitch, this is what it sounds like, right? Without the scale plugin, scale back in, you can feel that it's a minor sound, right? But then it's major when the scale plugin isn't in there. We also have a number of Max4Live LFOs being used to modulate the parameters of the Chord plugin. As you can see here, these values that are moving around here. So what these are doing are essentially, it's kind of quite a really complex behavior pattern that's going on between the values that are being moved here and the envelope opening up the filters on the wavetable. And what's also happening is that these values are bringing other voices into focus and then kind of making them retreat, which is why sometimes you hear it and it sounds like it's a kind of a major chord, and then suddenly the sus4 starts coming in. And you can hear the sus4 you can hear the ninth coming in here if I take that away. If I put the ninth back in, and put the fourth or the 11th, which is 17. We're transposing a single chord sound around. So here, upper minor third, down a semitone, down another semitone, and then back to the bass again, 0. So in this instance, we're treating the bass, the root, as it were, as 0. Here's -2, so it'll go down the tone. So it's cool. I mean, it's a nice chord sound. We could probably write a tune just around doing that sort of sound. But the scale plugin allows for a number of adaptations to take place when we move it around. So if you've looked at the other videos or you've gone through them, then you would have known that some of the first numbers that we'll cover are 0, 5 and 7. These are the 1, 4, 5. So the 4 is the number 5, the fourth. So that's also minor. And the 7, the 5, is also minor. It's very nice. The notes for the natural minor scale are, or the scale degrees are 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, and 12. What this should kind of result in terms of numbers is 0, 2, 3, 5, that's the fourth, 7, scale degree 5, 8, 10, and then 12, which is the octave. Now, the scale plugin is essentially sort of constraining the notes and conforming them to, you know, whatever the parameters are that we've set for this scale shape. So we could alter it to something else, and the notes would then be conformed and constrained differently, but the results will be consistent. What I'm going to suggest to you is that we can also play some of, we can change the pitch plugin and we can make it play some of the notes that are not a part of the scale by picking some alternatives. Now, some of these are really interesting because they're not a part of the scale, but they seem to throw up some really interesting sounds. So let's have a look at 1. 1 is a really nice sound. In many ways, I prefer it more than 2. 2 just feels, yeah, I kind of get it. But 1 feels really gorgeous. Right? So 1 in the key of C, 1 would be D flat, which isn't really a part of the natural minor scale in the key of C. But there's a nice movement from 0 to 1. There's also a really nice movement from -2 to 1 and then back to 0. Okay, so the next one is 4. So in the key of C, 4 is the major third. So the number that we would expect in the minor key is actually 3. You can hear that when we have when we've got the pitch is set to 4, the suspended fourth, the sus4, the 11th, reveals itself more clearly. It becomes more prominent. So it's kind of cool to go from 4 to 3. 4, 3, 1, 0, 1, 0, 4, 3, 4, 3, 1, 0, 1, -2, 4, 3, 1, -2, 0. I mean, you can just add in numbers and discover interesting things. We also have 6. So in the key of C, 6 would be F sharp. And here's the 5. You can just feel there's a small change in emphasis in the collection of notes, in the way that the scale plugin seems to be accommodating the constraints. You can see it when you look at the scale plugin. When it's a 6, you can see different sets of notes being favored. It's interesting, right? 8 and 9, you can hear the difference. It's a small difference. You have this prominence of what's termed the sharpened 11th. The sharpened 11th becomes a more prominent voice. That's 8. This is 9. Kind of have to wait for the cycle to come around. Okay, so 11, in the key of C, 11 is the note B. Whereas in the natural minor scale, we'd expect 10, which is B flat. So we can cycle between these two, 11, 10, 11, 10. So knowing these numbers, 11, 6, 9, 4, 1. So let's try 11, 10, 9, 6, 5, 4, like the sound of that one, and then 0. -2, -4. So -4 up an octave is 8, because 8 plus 4 is 12, right? So that's the octave. I'm going to take this up to 2, which is the highest number, and I'm just going to introduce the 5th. So the root is 0 plus the 7, so we'll hear 2 notes. Listen to what happens when I bring the 5th in terms of the relationship with the envelope. So you can see what's also happening with the LFO is that because it's cycling between these values, we're also actually getting, the values are working in opposite with the envelope on the wavetable. So rather than increasing, when we increase the number to 2, it actually dampens the envelope down because of velocity pressure. But then when we decrease this number, the envelope opens up more, right? So the LFOs are not only are they the prominence of the note, the LFOs are actually managing this via this idea of velocity and then cycling backwards and forwards. So let's put the other one back on. Up to 4, 3, 6, 5, 9, 8, the one between 9 and 8 is kind of dependent on where it is within the cycle, whether we hear the additional notes coming through. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0, -2, 1, 0, 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough. It's a bit more complex than some of the other ones that we've looked at. This project is downloadable, link is in the description below. And please remember to like and subscribe. If you like this content, let me know. If there's anything you'd like to, if you'd like to see some other content based around this, or if you'd like a clearer explanation. See you next time. Bye for now.